That evening, Ebo had cooked the very last of their grain, a small pot of akpal, the soft cornmeal his mother loved. He placed her portion carefully beside her mat. His own bowl was in his hands when he heard the knock. Now, here is where most people would have made a different choice. And honestly, no one would have blamed them. In a small village on the edge of the Tordzie River, a boy had only one bowl of food left, and a stranger stood at his door. He made a choice that night that no one in that village understood. But by the next morning, everything had changed. Stay with me, because the ending of this story will hit you in a way you won't expect. If you love stories that carry real wisdom from the heart of Africa, you're exactly where you need to be. Subscribe to my channel, African Wisdom Tale, as I narrate yet another interesting African tale. His name was Ebo. He lived in a small fishing village in what is now southern Ghana, country, where the Tordzie River meets the land, and the people say, "It is the person who has nothing who knows the true value of giving." Ebo was 12 years old. His mother had been sick for 3 market days. No money for medicine. No neighbor left to borrow from. That evening, Ebo had cooked the very last of their grain, a small pot of akpal, the soft cornmeal his mother loved. He placed her portion carefully beside her mat. His own bowl was in his hands when he heard the knock. Now, here is where most people would have made a different choice. And honestly, no one would have blamed them. At the door stood an old man, tattered cloth wrapped around his shoulders, feet cracked from a long road, eyes quiet but searching. "My son," the old man said softly, "I have walked from the next valley. I have not eaten since dawn." Ebo looked at his bowl, then he looked back at the old man. His stomach was empty. His mother needed her strength. Every logical reason told him to say no, but keep watching, because what Ebo noticed in that moment is the part nobody talks about. It wasn't desperation in the old man's eyes. It wasn't in demand. It was something quieter than both of those things. It was simply truth. Ebo stepped aside. "Come in," he said. "Sit with us." He split his own portion in 2. He gave the larger half to the stranger. He kept the smaller for himself and ate in silence. The old man ate slowly, gratefully, and before he stood to leave, he paused at the door and turned back. "Boy," he said, "I was watching you before I knocked. 3 people passed me on that road tonight. Not one of them stopped. You had the least of all of them, and you gave the most." He let that sit for a moment. Then he said, "Remember this, the hand that gives never becomes empty," and he walked back into the dark. Now you might be thinking this is where the story ends. It isn't. What happened the very next morning is the part that stunned the entire village. The next morning, a trader arrived, a merchant from Keta, who had lost his way the night before and sheltered nearby. He was searching for a trustworthy family to store goods ahead of the dry season market. He said an old man, a stranger passing through, had pointed him directly to this house. "He told me the boy inside had a good heart," the trader said. That's all he said. The neighbors gathered. They listened. And not one of them could explain it, because not one of them had given that old man anything. By the end of the week, Ebo's family had food on the table, medicine for his mother, and a small but steady wage that carried them through the dry season. The old man was never seen again. Some elders said he was a wandering spirit sent to test the village. Others believed he was simply a hungry man whose words carried more weight than anyone could have imagined. But every elder agreed on one thing: Ebo had not been lucky. Ebo had been ready. The you people of Ghana say, "The person with nothing understands the true weight of generosity." Ebo had nothing to spare. And that is exactly why what he gave meant everything. Generosity is not measured by what you have. It is measured by what you choose to give when you have almost nothing left. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. And if you want more African wisdom tale, stories from the continent that shaped the world, subscribe and stay close. We'll see you in the next one.